Picture a starlit evening in the Shire, where the rolling hills glow with the warmth of hobbit hearths, the clink of ale mugs, and the laughter of a grand feast. It is 22nd of September, the year 3001 of the Third Age, and Bilbo Baggins has just vanished in a shimmer of magic at his 111th birthday celebration, leaving behind a golden ring that glints with an unspoken menace. Amid the hobbits' gasps and chatter, one figure stands apart, his grey robes kissed by moonlight, his eyes alight with a quiet storm. This is Gandalf the Grey, no mere conjurer of fireworks but a guardian of Middle-earth, his heart stirred by a dread he cannot yet name. With a whispered warning to Frodo about the ring's danger, he mounts his steed and rides into the night, a solitary ember against the gathering dark. Where does he go? Why does it take 17 years to return? And what truths heavy as mountains does he unearth in a journey that will weave the fate of all? Welcome to Middle-earth Unveiled, where we delve into the heart of Tolkien's world with reverence and wonder. Today we embark on a storytelling odyssey, tracing Gandalf's 17-year quest, a saga not of swords or sorcery, but of wisdom, sacrifice, and an unyielding belief in the resilience of hope. This is a tale of a wizard who became a beacon, a detective who pieced together a puzzle spanning millennia, and a soul who learned that the smallest choices can shift the tides of destiny. So gather by the fire, dear traveller, and let us tread the paths of Middle-earth together, where every step echoes with purpose. Gandalf is no mortal wanderer, but an Istari, one of 5 Maya spirits sent by the valor divine architects of creation to guide Middle-earth's free peoples against Sauron's shadow. Known as wizards, the Istari were bound by a sacred edict to inspire, not dominate, to kindle courage, not wield dominion. As J.R.R. Tolkien writes in Unfinished Tales, their power lay in the quiet strength of influence, a flame nurtured in others' hearts. This charge tested each Istari Saruman the White. Their leader was a mind of brilliance, but pride poisoned his heart, whispering of power beyond his grasp. Radagast the Brown, gentle and pure, turned to the wilds, his love for beasts eclipsing his broader purpose. The Blue Wizards, Alatar and Palando, ventured east, their fates shrouded. Unfinished Tales suggests they may have resisted Sauron, but their tale lies beyond our scope. Only Gandalf the Grey Wanderer held true. His humility, tempered by kindness, made him a servant of the secret fire, as described in the Silmarillion. When Gandalf rode from the Shire, he carried the weight of a world on the brink. His suspicion that Bilbo's ring, found in the goblin-haunted depths beneath the misty mountains, might be the One Ring, ignited a quest that would span 17 years. This ring, forged in the Second Age to bind all others, was Sauron's masterwork, its malice recounted in the Silmarillion. Gandalf's departure was a response to this dread, a spark that would light his path. Gandalf's heart bore doubt as he left the Shire's gentle hills, the laughter of hobbits fading behind. The ring's power was a shadow he had long feared, capable of corrupting kings and breaking alliances. A misstep could awaken Sauron's gaze, endangering Frodo and the Shire. Yet haste was the enemy of truth. His decision to seek answers, to leave Frodo with the ring, was a triathlete act of faith, a belief that wisdom, not force, would prevail. This moment weaves the first thread of our tapestry, Gandalf's choice to serve. In a world where power tempts, he chose restraint, trusting in ordinary souls. As Tolkien writes in The Fellowship of the Ring is altogether evil, yet Gandalf's response was resolve, a resolve that would guide him through the long years ahead. Gandalf's first haven was Rivendell, the last homely house, where elven song mingled with ancient wisdom. Here he sought Elrond, a lawmaster, who had stood beside Isildur at the last alliance and the White Council, Elrond, Galadriel, Saruman, and others. This council was a bulwark against Sauron's rising power. Gandalf voiced his unease about Bilbo's ring, questioning if it was the One Ring. Elrond listened gravely, his eyes tracing memories of ancient battles. Saruman, however, dismissed the threat. "The ring is lost," he declared, his voice sharp. Gandalf sensed discord, not yet treachery, but pride, clouding judgment. Tolkien portrays Saruman's fall as gradual, unlike the film's stark betrayal, leaving Rivendell. Gandalf carried a heavier burden, the council's disunity, a crack in his hope. Yet this moment forged his resolve, setting him on a path to Minas Tirith. The road from Rivendell wound through Eriador and Rohan, leading Gandalf to Minas Tirith, the White City of Gondor. Its 7 tiers rose against the Anduin, a beacon of men's resilience yet weary under Steward Denethor's gaze. Gandalf, cloaked in grey, entered the citadel as a seeker, his staff glowing softly, his destination the ancient archives where history's dust held secrets that could save or doom the world. In Middle-earth Unveiled, we continue Gandalf's 17-year quest, delving into Minas Tirith's heart, where a truth shakes Middle-earth's foundations. Picture Gandalf, in the candlelit gloom surrounded by scrolls older than mountains, his heart racing with time's weight. This is a tale of patience, discovery, and the courage to face a burning truth. In the archives, where aged parchment scented the air, Gandalf pored over manuscripts tracing faded ink. Days blurred into nights, the world fading as he delved into Gondor's lore. Urgency pressed him. Each moment was a moment. Sauron grew stronger, yet haste risked error. The ring demanded certainty. In a forgotten corner he found it, a crumbling scroll by Isildur, who claimed the ring at the last alliance. Its words struck like thunder. "It was hot when I took it, hot as a gleed, and my hand was scorched, so that I doubt if ever again I shall be free of the pain of it. Yet even as I write it is cooled, and it seemeth to shrink, though it loseth neither its beauty nor its shape. The writing upon it, which at first was as clear as red flame, fadeth, and is now only barely to be read. It is fashioned in an elven script of Eregion, but the language is unknown to me, a tongue of the Black Land." This confirmed Bilbo's ring as the One Ring. Gandalf's heart surged with triumph, yet dread followed. The ring's re-emergence offered hope for its destruction, but awoke Sauron's hunger. In the archive's silence, Gandalf faced a choice: act swiftly or seek further proof. The scroll was a mirror reflecting the ring's power to scar and seduce. Isildur's failure to destroy it, recounted in the Silmarillion, warned that even a mire like Gandalf could fall. In the Fellowship of the Ring, he refuses Frodo's offer of the ring, fearing its corruption. This fear guided his caution in Minas Tirith, choosing deliberation over haste. Knowledge is a burden as much as a gift. Gandalf's discovery armed him with certainty, but demanded responsibility. Acting required allies and proof none forged in a night. His patience was a shield protecting Middle-earth from error. As Tolkien writes, "The ring is altogether evil." Yet Gandalf sought clarity. Trusting truth would light the path. Leaving Minas Tirith, Gandalf carried Isildur's words, "The ring a reality." The scroll was not enough. The fiery script needed verification, leading him eastward. The 17 years took shape, each step prioritizing certainty over speed. This choice reflects Gandalf's triathlete. Heart time, used wisely, is a weapon against despair. The archives forged Gandalf's resolve. He emerged with a deeper understanding of the ring and his role as its guardian. Riding into the dawn, Minas Tirith fading, he carried hope that truth could rally the free peoples. The road from Minas Tirith stretched eastward beyond the familiar borders of Gondor and Rohan into lands where the sun burned with unrelenting fury and the air carried whispers of ancient feuds. Gandalf, cloaked in grey, rode into the unknown, his staff a faint beacon against the dust-choked plains of Rhûn and the scorching sands of Harad. These were not the gentle hills of the Shire nor the stone halls of Minas Tirith, but realms where Sauron's influence festered, binding hearts with fear or luring them with promises of glory. In Middle-earth Unveiled, we follow the Grey Wanderer's 17-year quest into the shadowed east, where courage and subtlety sowed seeds of hope in hostile lands. Picture him beneath a merciless sky, his cloak tattered, his resolve a flame that no darkness could quench. Let us walk these perilous paths and uncover the quiet victories that shaped Middle-earth's fate. Rhûn, home to the Easterlings, and Harad, realm of the Haradrim, were strongholds of Sauron's power, their people bound by ancient oaths or swayed by visions of dominion. J.R.R. Tolkien's works offer scant details of Gandalf's travels here. Unfinished Tales merely suggests he ventured east to counter Sauron's sway, leaving specifics to the imagination. Yet we can envision the wizard's unwavering purpose. Imagine him crossing Rhûn's vast steppes where the wind carried the distant clash of Easterling spears, or navigating Harad's deserts where the red banners of the Haradrim fluttered like bloodstains against the horizon. These lands were both beautiful and perilous, their cultures rich with history, yet shadowed by Mordor's malice. Gandalf moved as a wraith, his presence a whisper for to be known was to invite Sauron's wrath. His mission in these distant realms was twofold. First, he gathered intelligence observing the movements of Sauron's armies and the whispers of his emissaries. Each scout's report, each overheard tale in a bustling market was a piece of the puzzle, revealing the Dark Lord's growing strength across Middle-earth. Second, he sowed seeds of resistance, speaking to chieftains and outcasts, urging them to defy the yoke of Mordor. These were not grand councils or rallying cries, but quiet moments, a word of wisdom to a wavering warrior, a tale of hope shared by a desert campfire. Each act was a ripple, a defiance of the encroaching dark, a spark that could kindle rebellion in hearts. Not yet wholly lost, Gandalf's words were not promises of victory, but invitations to courage, reminders that even in shadow free will endured. This journey into the East unveils a profound truth. The smallest acts can alter the tides of history. In a world of empires and armies, Gandalf's counsel to a single chieftain, his encouragement to a doubting soul, were sparks that could ignite change. Tolkien's world is one where hobbits topple dark lords and wanderers, inspire nations, and Gandalf's faith in the resilience of ordinary souls, be they Easterlings, Haradrim, or hobbits, reflects this belief. As he later declares in The Return of the King, "It is not despair, for despair is only for those who see the end beyond all doubt. We do not." This hope, painstakingly sown in Rhûn and Harad, was a weapon as potent as any sword, a testament to the power of conviction over force. Yet the East was no haven. Every step brought Gandalf closer to Mordor's gaze. Where the Nazgûl rode on, fell beasts and spies lurked in every shadow. His cloak was torn by thorns, his body weary from endless roads, but his spirit burned with the secret fire described in the Silmarillion. In these moments of solitude, Gandalf's heart wrestled with doubt. Was he too slow? Had he left the ring vulnerable in the Shire, guarded only by Frodo's innocence? Each day spent in these hostile lands was a day Sauron's power grew, a day the hourglass of Middle-earth's fate trickled closer to ruin. Yet these travels were not a detour but a necessity. Sauron's influence stretched beyond Mordor, binding nations to his will, and by venturing east, Gandalf weakened that hold, even if only in whispers. This choice to tread such perilous paths reflects a core principle of Tolkien's world responsibility: demands sacrifice. Gandalf's willingness to risk capture, betrayal, or death in Rhûn and Harad was a sacrifice for the greater good. His actions, though unseen by the West, were vital threads in the tapestry of Middle-earth's salvation, proving that hope can take root in the darkest places. The Easterlings and Haradrim, though often foes in later battles, were not wholly lost, and Gandalf's efforts may have stirred dissent that delayed Sauron's plans. In Unfinished Tales, Tolkien hints that the Blue Wizard's eastern missions bore fruit. Perhaps Gandalf's work complemented theirs, a quiet alliance against the shadow. As Gandalf turned westward, his heart carried the weight of these unseen victories and unanswered questions. The ring remained a ticking threat, and the truths gleaned in the east only deepened his resolve. His next steps would lead him back to the White Council, where the fracture of wisdom awaited, and to a desperate hunt for the creature who held the ring's final secret. The 17 years of his quest were a crucible forging not just knowledge, but a deeper understanding of the delicate balance between action and restraint, between hope and peril. If Gandalf's journey into the East has kindled your love for Middle-earth, subscribe to Middle-earth Unveiled and hit the bell to join our community. Share your thoughts in the comments. Could you have walked Gandalf's perilous path, sowing hope in shadow? Let's spark a discussion and continue this tale together. Gandalf's return from the East brought him back to the White Council, where the air was thick with unspoken tension and the shadow of Sauron loomed ever closer. The Council, a gathering of Middle-earth's wisest, Elrond, Galadriel, Saruman and others, was meant to be a bastion against the Dark Lord's rise, yet cracks were forming in its foundation. In Middle-earth Unveiled, we delve into this pivotal moment of Gandalf's 17-year quest, where a fracture in wisdom forces him to forge his own path and a desperate hunt for Gollum. The wretched creature whose tale holds the final key to the ring's truth sets the stage for Middle-earth's fate. Picture Gandalf standing before the council, his grey robes stained with the dust of distant lands. His voice steady, but his heart heavy with doubt. Let us step into this storm and uncover the choices that shaped the world. The White Council convened in a time of growing peril. Gandalf pressed for action, his voice urgent yet measured. Sauron's forces were stirring in Mordor, he argued, and the ring's re-emergence, confirmed by Isildur's scroll in Minas Tirith, demanded vigilance. The scroll had described the ring's fiery script, its scorching heat, its unyielding power, evidence that Bilbo's trinket was the One Ring, Sauron's masterwork forged to dominate all. Yet Saruman, the council's leader, remained obstinate. "Let Sauron rot in his ruins," he scoffed, his eyes cold as winter, his voice laced with a disdain that masked something deeper. Gandalf's instincts sharpened. Saruman's dismissal was not mere arrogance. It was a refusal to see truth, a fracture in the wisdom that once defined him. Tolkien reveals in The Lord of the Rings that Saruman's heart had begun to covet the ring, secretly dreaming of wielding its power to rival Sauron himself. Unlike the stark betrayal portrayed in Peter Jackson's films, Saruman's fall in the books is a gradual descent, a slow poisoning of pride and ambition. At this moment, Gandalf sensed only discord, not treachery. But the crack in the council's unity was a wound. He realized he could no longer rely on Saruman's leadership or the council's collective strength. The path forward was his alone, to forge a path that would lead him to allies like Aragorn, the heir of Isildur, Elrond, the keeper of ancient wisdom, and Frodo, the unlikeliest of heroes. This moment marked a turning point, setting the stage for the Fellowship of the Ring. But one critical task remained to confirm the ring's identity beyond all doubt. This fracture in the council unveils a profound truth. Wisdom, when untempered by humility, becomes a cage. Saruman's pride blinded him to the peril at hand, but Gandalf's openness to doubt, to the possibility of his own error, kept his path true. The White Council was a mirror reflecting the choices that define us: to serve others, or to dominate, to trust in unity, or to seek control. Gandalf's decision to act independently was not rebellion, but necessity, a triathlete act of faith in the resilience of those who still held hope. As he left the council, his heart carried the weight of this schism, but also a spark of determination to seek the final piece of the puzzle. That piece lay with Gollum. The wretched creature who had once borne the ring for centuries. Gollum's tale was the key to linking Bilbo's ring to Sauron's forge, a thread that could dispel all doubt. With Aragorn's aid, Gandalf embarked on a grueling hunt across Middle-earth, from the tangled, shadow-haunted depths of Mirkwood to the ashen borders of Mordor itself. The pursuit was relentless, each step shadowed by the threat of Sauron's Nazgul, who also sought Gollum to reclaim their master's prize. Imagine Gandalf in Mirkwood's gloom, his cloak torn by thorns, his staff a faint light against the oppressive dark, his heart heavy with the knowledge that time was slipping away. Aragorn, ever loyal, scouted the wilds, his ranger's skill a silent testament to their unspoken bond, forged over decades of friendship. At last, in a forgotten glade where the air was thick with the scent of decay, they captured Gollum, a shivering, hissing wraith, his eyes glinting with a manic obsession. For his precious Gollum's story was a chilling confirmation. He spoke of the ring's power, its seductive whispers, its theft by Bilbo in the goblin tunnels beneath the misty mountains. Gandalf's heart sank, for Gollum's words aligned perfectly with Isildur's scroll, leaving no room for doubt. The ring in Frodo's possession was indeed the One Ring, a truth that was both a triumph and a harbinger of doom. It rallied the Free Peoples to action, offering a chance to destroy Sauron's power. But it also awakened the Dark Lord's hunger for his Nazgûl, were already abroad, their wraith-like cries echoing in the night as they sought the Shire. Gandalf's encounter with Gollum reveals another layer of his triatli heart, the power of mercy. In the Fellowship of the Ring, he tells Frodo, "My heart tells me that he has some part to play yet for good or ill before the end." This pity, later echoed by Frodo's decision to spare Gollum, was not weakness, but wisdom, a recognition that even the broken can shape destiny. Gandalf's mercy was a choice to see potential for redemption, a belief that the smallest threads in the tapestry of fate could weave unexpected outcomes. This act of compassion, born in the shadows of Mirkwood, would prove pivotal in the War of the Ring, a testament to the enduring power of hope over judgment. The hunt for Gollum was a double-edged sword, arming Gandalf with the certainty he needed, but thrusting Middle-earth into immediate peril. As he prepared to return to the Shire, the weight of this truth settled upon him, a truth that could either save the world or hasten its ruin. The 17 years of his quest were nearing their culmination. Each step, a deliberate choice to prioritize truth over haste, wisdom over fear. In the spring of 3018, Gandalf stood in the warmth of Frodo's hearth at Bag End, casting the ring into the flames. As the fire licked its golden surface, a fiery script blazed forth: Ash-Nazg Durbatuluk, Ash-Nazg Gimbatul. The One Ring was found, its identity undeniable, marking the culmination of a 17-year odyssey that had taken Gandalf from the Shire's gentle hills to the shadowed fringes of Mordor. In this final chapter of Middle-earth Unveiled, we unravel the profound question at the heart of Gandalf's quest. Why did it take 17 years? This is a tale of patience as a shield, hope as a flame, and the courage to trust in the smallest hands to change the course of history. Let us weave the final threads of this tapestry and reflect on the legacy of the Grey Wanderer, whose choices lit the path to Middle-earth's salvation. The question of 17 years lies in the One Ring's insidious nature. Forged in the Second Age within the fires of Mount Doom, it was Sauron's masterpiece, imbued with his malice to amplify desire and twist even the noblest intentions into ruin. Tolkien explains in the Silmarillion that the ring's power was a lure to all who encountered it, from Boromir's ambition to Galadriel's temptation to Frodo's eventual struggle. Gandalf, as a Maya spirit, was not immune. In the Fellowship of the Ring, he refuses Frodo's offer of the ring, his voice trembling with urgency. "Do not tempt me, for I do not wish to become like the Dark Lord himself." This fear of corruption, this knowledge that the ring could turn even his wisdom into tyranny, was the cornerstone of his caution. This peril demanded a patience that bordered on the heroic. A single misstep, acting in haste, trusting the wrong ally, or misjudging the ring's nature, could doom Middle-earth to Sauron's dominion. Saruman's fall, born of pride and a secret desire to wield the ring, was a stark warning. Gandalf's 17 years were a shield, each year a deliberate step toward certainty. His consultations with Elrond in Rivendell, his discovery of Isildur's scroll in Minas Tirith, his perilous journeys into Rhûn and Harad, his relentless hunt for Gollum with Aragorn, all were threads in a tapestry of truth woven with care to ensure no knot was left untied. Each delay was a calculated risk, granting Sauron time to gather strength, but anchoring Gandalf's actions in unassailable knowledge. Yet patience was more than a strategy. It was a triatli act of faith, a profound belief in the resilience of Middle-earth's peoples. Gandalf trusted in the courage of ordinary souls, hobbits like Frodo, rangers like Aragorn, even the outcasts of Rhûn and Harad. His 17 years were a defiance of despair, a refusal to believe that darkness was inevitable. This faith was not blind optimism, but a hard-won conviction forged in the crucible of doubt. Picture Gandalf in the lonely wilds of the East, his cloak torn his body, weary, wrestling with the fear that he had moved too slowly, that Frodo and the Shire were at risk. Picture him in Mirkwood's shadows tracking Gollum while the Nazgul's cries echoed in the distance, questioning if his caution had cost too much. Yet through every trial, his hope endured a flame that no shadow could extinguish. This hope was the secret fire, the divine spark described in the Silmarillion that defined Gandalf's essence as a servant of creation. It burned in his laughter with hobbits, his counsel to kings, his unwavering defiance during the siege of Gondor, where he declared, "It is not despair, for despair is only for those who see the end beyond all doubt. We do not." These words from the Return of the King were not born in a moment, but forged over 17 years of sacrifice and resolve. Gandalf's heart was a crucible tested by the weight of a world's fate, yet his ability to choose hope over fear made him Middle-earth's beacon, a guide for all who followed. The legacy of Gandalf's quest is a tapestry of choices, each thread weaving the fate of Middle-earth, from the halls of Rivendell to the archives of Minas Tirith, from the wilds of Rhûn to the shadows of Mirkwood. He uncovered truths that shook the world: the ring's identity, Sauron's resurgence, Saruman's faltering. His discoveries rallied Aragorn, Frodo, and the Fellowship to face an impossible task. The ring's finding was a ticking hourglass, its presence a clarion call to war, yet Gandalf's patience transformed it into a chance for victory. His trust in Frodo, a hobbit of no renown, echoed Tolkien's profound belief that greatness lies in the humblest hearts, that small hands can shift the wheels of the world. This legacy extends beyond Middle-earth, serving as a mirror for our own choices. In a world that prizes haste and power, Gandalf's patience reminds us that time, when used wisely, is a gift to be cherished. His faith in Frodo teaches that strength lies not in might, but in humility, in the courage to act despite overwhelming odds. His mercy for Gollum shows that even the broken can weave vital threads in the tapestry of fate. As Tolkien writes in The Fellowship of the Ring, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Gandalf's 17 years were his decision, a testament to the enduring power of wisdom, restraint, and hope. Let us reflect on this as we close. Gandalf was no conqueror, no tyrant, but a guide who lit the way through darkness. His journey was not a race against time, but a dance with it. Each step, a deliberate choice to trust in the possibility of light. In our own lives, we face shadows, doubts, fears, choices that weigh heavy. Gandalf's fire offers a lesson to choose. Hope is to defy despair. To choose patience is to honor truth. To choose trust is to believe in the resilience of the human spirit. His legacy is not just Middle-earth's salvation, but a call to us all to decide what to do with the time we are given, and to do so with courage. Thank you for journeying with Middle-earth Unveiled through Gandalf's epic quest. If this tale of hope and patience has inspired you, subscribe, hit the bell, and give us a thumbs up to join our community. Share your favorite Gandalf moment in the comments and let us know, what would you do with the time given to you? Next, we explore the Blue Wizard's mysterious fate in the East. Did they defy Sauron or fall to his shadow? Share this story with fellow Tolkien fans, and let's keep Middle-earth's fire burning bright. Namaria, until we meet again.